A $26 million hospital complex designed to meet the needs of southern Martin County opened its doors to patients today for the first time. As News Channel 5's Mark Kaler reports, Martin Memorial Hospital South is designed to relieve crowded conditions at other area facilities.
This wasn't a very good day for one young patient. But 200 employees at Martin Memorial Hospital South are glad to see patients after weeks of preparation. As doctors relieve the pain, administrators hope to relieve heavy seasonal demands on services at the main hospital in Stuart.
Here it is the end of September, and we're seeing an increase right now in Stuart. So we think the season is longer and will last longer.
There are 92 patient rooms at the hospital, and every single one of them is private. Administrators say that eliminates a lot of scheduling headaches, and patients seem to like it too. In the planning stages, critics called this the hospital in the middle of nowhere. Coastal Health Corporation hopes to answer the critics by treating a lot of people who would otherwise have sought care in other counties. In Port Salerno, Mark Kaler, News Channel 5.
We opened in September and really excited to see our first patient, which was a cut finger. You know, he had 3 nurses and a doctor and everybody crowded around him because he was the first patient. We rapidly grew. At nighttime, we started out with a pretty low census, but we rapidly grew. And one of the really unique things about Martin South is that when we started, we didn't know what our census was going to be in the ER and patient, and we all helped each other out. We went to different places. The ER techs at night used to have to go upstairs and draw the morning bloods. We helped each other start IVs, and it really evolved into a little family and the teamwork that is still ongoing at Martin South today.
One of my early funny memories was the day before the actual opening. We had a patient show up from the arthritis clinic. We didn't have a door on the dark room, so we had to go into the bathroom of the ultrasound room, turn out the light, put towels under the door and fill the cassettes with film, take the x-rays, send them home, and keep our fingers crossed that they came out okay, weren't fogged, which they did. They came out fine.
The early days were a learning experience for everybody, besides me having to learn to go from retail to hospital pharmacy. The whole staff here was learning, finding all the nooks and crannies and how everything worked and where everything was, and so we spent a lot of the first days just running around ironing out the little fires.
And my first memories are not really of a building. My first memories of Martin South are a big empty field which was full of mud, and I attended the groundbreaking with our auxiliary president at the time, Elizabeth Bennett, and by the time we left the property, we were up to our ankles in mud. And through the next couple of months, I drove past the hospital many times just to check on the progress. But the first time I saw the interior of the hospital, I came down here to visit with our then Director of Volunteer Services, Bob Moon. And if any of you remember Bob, the signs that say, "Keep out," hard hat area, didn't deter him one bit. So in we came, and all we saw were cement floors, cords and cables and piping all over, and we did this exploration tour. So the first place we hit was the operating room. And who do we see in the operating room but Sherry Guffin and Karen Ripper. And Karen is standing on top of the OR table adjusting the lights overhead, which was kind of funny.
And I remember the very first record that we filed here on these shelves 10 years ago. And since then, we have filed over 400,000 records.
No wonder I'm so tired. I remember 10 years ago when we moved to the South Laboratory, I was pregnant with my second child, and lo and behold, in the middle of the move, I was opening a box, and the box cutter slipped, and I ended up couldn't come to the South ER, so I had to have a friend drive me all the way to the North ER for 4 stitches.
One of the things I remember from opening the South Hospital was describing the process as having to give birth, closest thing I could come to, I guess, in terms of giving birth, knowing that you really can't experience it. Someone picked up on that, and one of the gifts that was given to me to celebrate the opening of the hospital was this clock. And it had an inscription on it that says Martin Memorial Hospital South, September 29th, 1992, 9 a.m. And it gave the weight, just like you'd give the weight to of a baby that's born. And it's 12,937.5 tons. And when it was born at 9 a.m., we were all very proud of it, and we still are.
10 years ago, when we opened up the command center, we were in the security office, which is a security office right now, and we had 6 monitors and a wind pack. Since then, we have moved to this room. As you can see, we have several monitors. We are monitoring 23 sites. They all come into the South Hospital, and we man them 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. What I remember most about moving here, it took the fire machine from the north a year to get here. We had trouble with the fiber optics bringing the fire machine here. So we had to have 2 command centers, one at the north and one here at the south, for a year until we got all of our equipment.
We actually opened the South Hospital 10 years ago. It was myself and probably 8 charge nurses. And we all just kind of came in, and we had opportunity to do the policies and the procedures. And we even actually had some workshops. That we actually had a pajama party here to put things together. And we even had a trial run for the hospital. And we actually spent the night here, and we actually brought in patients and some students from South Fork High School just to see how everything worked. Then when we first started, we just kind of started off with just a kind of a real small staff, and a lot of the staff were nurses and CNAs that actually transferred down from the medical center. And over that time, I think we opened up, and maybe our average census was maybe 15 for a while, and then we just started growing. And
I can go back and remember the vendors coming in, bringing the new furniture, the whole hospital brand new, just working with the staff here, coming in, meeting new staff members, and even the vendors bringing in the coffee and the donuts, having the donut alert on radio, somebody's bringing in the pizza for lunch. The food was great. It was just a great team effort putting this South Campus together. Being part of the team, we experienced a little storm coming through, which was Hurricane Andrew in August of 1992, and a brand new facility. We were kind of scared, didn't know what was going to happen. Fortunately, the storm did not come this way, but we were prepared. As always, facilities is involved. It was even fun having the staff here. We had to sleep over, preparing again, watching the facility. The great time was waking up the next morning, calm of the storm, no rain, but the food was great again. Administration was here, Tagliareni, Mr. Tag came down, we had breakfast, we had bacon, eggs, he was the cook, the chef that day, and just the morale, it really lifted up the spirits.
I started here in Martin South Emergency Room when the hospital first opened as a brand new ER nurse, and came down and worked night shift. My most memorable memories are working night shift and not having any patients. We sat here all night waiting for patients to come in, a couple of patients a night, and I tell you what, the patients got the best care, because every time a patient would come in, whether they were a sprained foot or a sore throat, they had 3 nurses taking care of them, jumping all over them, just so that we would have something to do.
I have been here since the day one of we opened back in 10 years ago, and at the time we opened, everybody thought it was going to be very slow and like the country club of Martin Memorial. However, it proved to be differently. We've been very busy, and even though we were running on a skeleton crew at the time we opened, respiratory department was busy running 5 ventilators, and so we had like 2 pulmonary staff, some in days and 1 at night. Our cardio department was pretty busy. Our outpatient load was heavy. And from that day on, we've been busier all the time.